just get this over with.
Welcome back to the Game of Thrones.
We're depressed.
Show.
I'm not.
Not too depressed.
I'm pissed.
We just saw the final episode.
I thought we were a team.
And here we are reacting to it. Mind you, this is just after watching it once. Maybe it will feel different in a few weeks. But yeah, I'm Christian, Jared, Xavier, Tyreek.
That's the saddest fucking intro I've ever heard.
It is very depressing, to be honest with you. Is everything all right?
So I think it would be easier for us to start off with the good parts of this episode.
Yeah, we probably would.
So I'll start off. Seeing the destruction was nice. You could actually see the fucked up shit she did. Daenerys' speech, because like we were saying when we were watching it, if you didn't see what she did, you would assume that, wow, she's a really good queen. Like, that was a good speech for a good person, but
I would have been motivated.
She didn't really realize that she wasn't a good person, and that's the other thing I liked. I didn't say it on a video. Now I wish I would have, but I did say after we did the last week's video that I was watching the writers talk about the episode, and they never compare her to her dad. They never call her the Mad Queen. So I was like, maybe she's not. Like, maybe she, honest to God, thought it was the right thing to do. And in this episode, that's really what you saw. She really thought she was doing the right thing. She really thought she was going to make the world a better place and make Westeros a better place. And then the conversation between Jon and Tyrion, it went back to the roots. That really felt like a season 1 conversation. That was a good conversation, good dialogue. Obviously, the biggie, best part of the episode, Jon having the balls to kill Daenerys. That was very good to see, because I'm not even sure his dad would have done that. I'm not sure that Ned Stark would have done that. So it was good to see Jon finally man up, put his honor to the side, and focus on what's good for really the world. Drogon destroying the throne and not Jon. I was slightly shocked. I thought we were about to get that moment where, oh, Jon can't be burnt. The Jon and Ghost reunion, very nice. Sansa becoming Queen of the North, that was nice to see as well. She's a good ruler. And then Arya doing what she said she would do in season 6, I believe it was, or 5, which is sailing west of Westeros to see what's over there. So good for her. You would think all those good things, that means I loved the episode, but no, there was just a few things. This really, you bringing up How I Met Your Mother was a perfect thing, because that last episode of How I Met Your Mother, I fucking love. Until those last, 10 minutes of the episode, where you're just like, why are you going down this route? Everything was going good. You didn't have to do that. And that's what this episode felt like. But that's my positives. Jared, I guess you'll go next. I don't know if you have any positives.
I mean, I agree with you on the one occasion.
Which
with
is
the
what?
Not the conversation. The speech. Daenerys' speech was very powerful.
It was.
I agree with Xavier. If I was one of those henchmen, those goon squads, I would also be hyped up.
Gang.
Gang. But all in all, I was not happy to see. I guess I'll save that for next one. That's all I was happy about.
I'd say the first 25 minutes is of that episode was actually shot real well. I thought the artistry, the way things were framed, everything about it was really good. Watching Tyrion walk down the street, was really awesome. And then
and him seeing his brother and sister.
Oh,
yeah. Actually, one thing that you didn't mention that I fucking loved, the 2.5 seconds of screen time I got was him standing next to Daenerys, and she said, "You betrayed me," and he was like, "And you burned a city full of children."
Oh yeah.
And he threw his pin down. That shit was so fucking powerful. I love that scene.
That was a good scene.
I didn't entirely I didn't love it. I did like it though, the scene where he found his brother and sister. Okay. I just wish he wouldn't have cried. I hope I would. I wanted.
Well,
to
I don't
see
think
him.
he was.
I mean, it's his family, so it makes sense.
But his brother is one of his best friends.
Yeah.
So
he's a piece of shit. Fuck him anyway. But other than that, after Jon stabs Daenerys, I stopped liking the episode.
Well, that was 35, 40.
25.
It was not 25.
I looked at the
minutes
clock.
in.
It was 25 in. 25:30 in.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was already past 10. Or close to 10. It was
No.
close to 10.
When
Tyreek agrees with me.
when John got sad, it was 25:30
It wasn't
in.
25 minutes in. We'll rewatch
Roll the
it.
tape.
I don't think we have that budget to.
Actually, you know the funny thing is? It's on HBO
It is
Go.
on
So go
HBO.
ahead. Say what you got to say, Tyreek. Is that all you got for good?
And then I mean, I guess watching. I mean, the only other thing I like was John seeing ghosts again. Other than that, fuck it.
Yeah.
Fuck the show.
The John Ghost reunion was very good.
Other than that, hate every second.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said so far in terms of the like. There are also things that I like. I'll just add in, I like the fact that even though Brienne kind of got fucked by Jamie, got fucked over,
She did.
like in the end, she understood as a knight, it's really about honor, and she didn't let that get in the way of the truth of what really happened. I like the fact that she added that little bit in the book.
I did forget about
I
that.
like
I
the-
did like that.
I like the fact that it was Sam that wrote the Song of Ice and Fire because it was expected, but I think they did it a little cheap.
He wasn't the only one though,
Yeah, I know.
because he would have wrote in Tyrion. The other guy didn't write.
Yeah, they
in
said it
Tyrion.
was another maester or something that wrote it, and he helped him with the title.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
very
think- yeah.
cheap, to be honest. So I don't like it as much as I thought I did, but it was a cheap ending.
maybe we got to rewatch it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure he said the other guy wrote most of it.
Most of it agree with. I really like the fact that Arya is traveling west.
I do too. I really
I
like
think
that
that's
too.
really interesting.
That was another theory people were talking about, and I was like, yeah, I could dig that. I could feel it.
Aside from that, not too much I'm super pleased with, no.
That's surprising to hear. We had a huge ass argument during the episode.
It's a lot of screaming. I'm still not over it.
I'm still not over it either. All right, let's see here. I'm very interested. I swear it was more than 25 minutes. Definitely not 25.
Yeah, you're right. I fucked up. 35 in. All right. 35 on to 40.
Right here. 38 minutes in. So literally pretty much the halfway point.
So the first half's pretty good.
Yep, first half's
Now
pretty
the
good.
first half is pretty good, yes.
I mean,
Even-
all right.
no,
So it's good
Even,
for.
listen, no. But like even all of that was good. All of this is good. It's until we get to the decision. So that's like 40 something. Close. It's practically 50 minutes. Good.
No,
Oh,
even then that wasn't good.
Nah, that was good. Them talking about who should rule, because I
yes,
really
them
thought
talking
I
was
really
okay.
thought they were going.
But
to
like
say
leading up
John.
to that, like what the fuck happened with John? Like he
was
just
in
gave
prison.
himself in. I want to know what happened there.
True. How'd they figure it out?
Well, he is honorable, so it makes
Definitely
sense.
didn't like Drogon leaving with the body.
No, I completely agree.
Actually,
Yeah,
I liked
thought
it.
it was
It made
pretty
sense for-
strange, to be honest.
It made sense for Drogon, I think. That it was his mom, and he knew she died. I thought it was interesting that you could tell he knew John did it. He sniffed that that knife. He could smell John's scent on that shit.
All right,
So it was interesting to see him not kill
shit,
John.
it didn't make
or
sense.
try.
It didn't make any sense.
I think again that's just for some reason dragons they're into Targaryens, and he knows he's a Targaryen, so I don't know. I don't know enough about the mythology of Game of Thrones, but just from what I've heard, dragons have a connection with Targaryens for some reason. So I just feel like that's the reason. So there's a connection there. But so I guess to get on to the worst parts, my honest to God, the most surprising thing I think was Jon and Grey Worm not fighting. It
100%.
was
Grey Worm.
super-
I wanted Grey Worm to die so fucking bad.
They hinted it in the last episode, and then they even hinted at it in this episode. Like that moment where Jon like grabs him to stop him from. That was a very good moment. And at this point, I'm like, I would have preferred them to fight right then and there, but I don't know. I was surprised that Daenerys only had Drogon there. I thought she was gonna have Grey Worm by her side, and that's why he would fight Grey Worm, because Grey Worm's the only person that can. Like, I assume Grey Worm's not gonna assume he's gonna kill Daenerys, so I would assume he kills her, and then Grey Worm's like, "What the fuck?" and then they get into a battle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my problem with the past few seasons is they've been hinting at things, and then they don't pay it off.
We
and
get
then it just
no
makes
payoff.
it makes you think like, well, what was the point in hinting at it?
I think it's because they've started like looking around and they've realized so many people have figured out how the endings are supposed to go.
So they just wanted
and
to troll us.
Yeah, they are pretty much trying to throw you in different directions. So I think that's why they created so many alternative endings.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it took 2 years, to be honest, because they spent so much time just like
filming shit.
filming endings,
The
like,
only
so they
thing
didn't
we're
have
gonna see
to.
is like when we buy the
Yeah, so it's like
sets.
it's kind of a bullshit decision a little bit because you had directions you went in to like give people character arcs and they never paid off.
Yep.
And you could have spent some of that time building up other characters that you wanted to show us is going to be important at the end.
Yes.
But
yes.
instead, you continued to show us people who ended up not really having any purpose at all. Which probably could have been changed with a little more episodes. But
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely
just
more episodes. Obviously,
mistake.
like we said, John getting arrested, that was just dumb. It would have been, like I said when we were watching, it would have been dope to see him get on Drogon. But whatever. I'm gonna skip that part because I just think that's the part we all agree on, except for Tyreek. Daenerys not attempting to kill Jon surprised me. I thought it was nice to see that her love was real for him, because she was talking about how we can rule together and we can do all this shit. But it was kind of out of left field because the past few episodes she's just been like, you can't let anybody know about your true heritage. Well, why couldn't they have known and you guys would have just literally ruled together? So it was kind of weird how she kind of went back and forth, but it was nice to see that she's not crazy. She does love him, and she thought what she was doing was right. So that was nice to see, but it was weird not seeing her attempt to kill him because he does have a claim to the throne. The episode felt short and rushed, obviously. Like the beginning, like we said, the first 45 minutes, it feels like this is literally that. If this was a 10-episode season, that felt like episode 9.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like we're getting ready for that finale. Be scared for Jon, because there's a chance he dies here. As we know, episode 9s are when big characters get killed off. Daenerys, in that moment, got killed off. So it just felt really rushed. And then the other thing that low-key bothered me, because of it being rushed, you couldn't give any shine to the side characters. Like we talked about, Gendry only said I.
He literally only said I. And he's like, first time we see him, first time we see a lot of these characters for the first time since, like, they had the
pretty
fucking
much episode 3.
they had
Yeah.
the bitch boy who sucked on his mom's tit from the fucking veil. What was he there for? Cool.
Well, he's the Lord of the Veil.
No, I know. Like, fucking give us reasons for why they're bringing all these characters. Instead of just like, yeah, you guys are just powerful. You guys own land. We're going to talk to you real quick. But what was the point of that if the original point was to just be like, yeah, we just want Jon back, why do you have all the powerful people around fucking Westeros there? I get why the Starks are there, but why?
Because the other ones they wanted him executed. Because you think about it, the Sand Snakes are still behind Daenerys. The water people, the Greyjoys were behind Daenerys, so they didn't want him freed. So they were there.
I get the Ironborn, 100%. I get
and then obviously the Veil people are going to be there because of Sansa's influence on the Veil.
Yes, but this is my problem. Like, I would have loved to understand. If we would have seen, and here's another thing that didn't fucking pay off. Varys sending out ravens with Jon as Aegon Targaryen.
Shit. I totally forgot
didn't
about
get paid
that.
off. That's
that
why
didn't get paid off.
That's why I was excited when I saw those people. I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna tell Grey Worm that Jon's the real heir, and they're gonna let him go. That's what I was thinking. And then we get, well, maybe we've been doing this for the people, but what if we let the people do this for the people? And I was like,
well, they didn't do that. That was
Sam, right? Yes. And then
they did that. That was a meme moment because people have been asking like, oh, maybe that's what they do, and that was just a moment to be like, bitch, this isn't a democracy
But
world.
what's the big point to episode 1 and 2 to see of this season? Jon's Aegon Targaryen. Don't tell people he's Aegon Targaryen. Now we finally get the most powerful people who've probably heard from Varys. He's Aegon Targaryen, and we don't.
But we don't know that. That's the
It was
problem.
hinted at, but it was
We
never
don't-
actually said on the
Yeah,
show.
we don't know if they know. That's why I was shocked that when they were talking about, okay, pick a king, I really thought Sansa was going to be like, obviously Jon should be king. His real name is Aegon Targaryen. He killed her because of what she did and what he thought she was going to continue doing. It was a weird... That was my only problem with that scene. I did like the scene, but it was weird, especially what Sansa has been doing, because that's another thing that didn't get paid off. It made it seem like Sansa wanted Jon on the throne, and that makes sense because he's been a good leader, and he's a proven leader. So that's the only part that bothered me, is she didn't mention him. But then, obviously, the biggie, Bran pretty much just lied to us all.
The Three-Eyed Raven lied, not Bran.
Shut the fuck
Bran's a
up.
piece of
His
shit.
name's Bran.
He's the Three-Eyed Raven.
So Tyrion says Bran deserves to be king because he has the best story.
Yes, he has the best stories.
Oh, he has the best stories?
Yeah.
No one has better stories than him.
Yeah, and I thought that was a dumbass reason, yes.
The guy in the wheelchair that just sat there all...
Just watching TV all day is what he's doing.
Episode 3, he just sat there. He has the best story.
He has the best stories. It's pretty tragic.
He knows the truth.
He
That's
does
all you
know-
have is
He
the
does know
truth.
the truth, yes.
Okay.
That's all. That's what's gonna push the kingdom forward is the truth.
Game of Thrones.
So I don't think I have as much of a problem with him ending up on the throne as other people may, because I never really. I think the fandom for Jon was a little bigger than the fandom for Daenerys. So when you said fuck both of them, that's gonna be an issue right there. Then the next biggest fandom was probably Tyrion, I would imagine.
Okay.
He didn't get it either.
That's why I would
So
prefer
it's-
Tyrion
it's an issue.
or Sansa.
So then it's gonna go down to Sansa. She didn't get it either. So a part of the issue is that the writers, they led people in these directions on purpose because it was supposed to be shadowing into like what's gonna happen with the rest of it. They did it on purpose, but because they start realizing that people were gonna know what's happening, the leaks were true. I really think they just start trying to make sure that it would be anything you did not expect to happen completely, and however we're gonna get here is just gonna be a slap in the face to all you motherfuckers.
Well,
I really
again,
think they did that on purpose. I just think they should have explained all this more, because the problem is we shouldn't even have
show
to.
any visions.
We shouldn't have to really like. We have to think too much into it because they didn't show us the things, so now I have to like be answering things I don't even know for a fact.
Exactly. That's
It's
the
definitely,
biggest problem
which is
with
why I'm
this
saying
episode.
they should have. It's not just the episode though; they were really supposed to add like at least 7 to 8 more episodes to this show. Like we should add at least 7 more hours of screen time. They definitely made a mistake with that.
So what would you guys do differently?
Where are we starting from? Just this episode, or like the whole season?
Yeah, just this season. I'm not gonna even take it as far as the past 2 seasons. Just this season.
So the ending, for me, was what really just did not do it for me. So I would just change episode 6. Where I would change is Jon killing Daenerys. Instead, I would have the dragon kill Jon.
I knew
And
it was
then,
coming.
like I said before, I'd have Daenerys. I'd rather see her go crazy. I'd rather see her burn down.
So you didn't even
everything.
like how she acted? Like she was the good guy?
It was cool. If she would have lived, that would have been fine. I think she would have done a great job ruling the world, because we all want world domination. I can relate to that.
Especially if you think you're doing good, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
I
If
thought
you're
she was doing good.
whatever. Anyway, she should have lived on. She should have went and go to kill Sansa, because that would have been a payoff to like episode 1 and 2 when they were bitching at each other.
They were bitching at each other.
She kills everyone with the dragon,
She burns them all.
but instead they take the dragon away. He just flies off into the sunset.
I like Drogon. I don't care what none of y'all said. Drogon lived. That's all. That's nice. Xavier?
I wouldn't have watched the season. That's what I would have changed. I'd have stopped watching the show season 1. That's what I'm gonna change.
That's a bit dramatic. Seasons 1 through 7 are still very good.
It's definitely still one of the greatest
And
shows of all
season 8
time.
is
But I need to
still
go
good.
back and look at certain things to. But-
you're just gonna cut me off.
Of
I
course.
thought you were done talking.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, that was your
You
answer. You
said that
didn't-
was all you
like-
wanted to say you were-
the question was, what would you do differently? Your answer was, I would not watch this show.
Somebody instantly started talking, so I was like, all right, fuck it, whatever. I'm done. I had
Yo,
0.3
editor
seconds.
Christian, you're going to play that shit back, and there was a solid 1 to 2 second pause, and you know it's true.
I wouldn't watch the season. That's what I would have changed. I'd have stopped watching the show season 1. That's what I'm gonna change.
So if that's your answer, that's your answer. Do you want to change your answer?
Listen, the past 3 seasons need to fucking change, all right? I would change most of everything from season 8 and 7.
The question is season 8. All right.
Season 8 needs to change completely. That's what,
And what would you do?
first of all, fucking the battle with the Night King just needs to be a little more dramatic. I need more deaths.
Would you move it to the end?
No, I'd keep it where it was at.
All right.
I'd probably make it a 2-part episode. I'd make episode 2 and 3 a fucking battle scene because it's supposed to be the biggest battle they've ever had. It's the most important battle they've ever had. I'd change the ending. I wouldn't have Arya kill the fucking Night King at all. I'd have Jon fight the Night King. I wouldn't have Bran. I'd have Bran in the episode. He'd die by the hands of the fucking Night King. The next episode definitely wouldn't have the second dragon die. I would literally just make that 2-part episode the greatest parts of cinematic history ever, or TV history ever. Next episode, have fucking the battle where they fight the Lannisters and everything. And then once it starts to seem a little too dramatic, then you bring the dragons in. Be like, oh, you can't actually do anything. Fuck Cersei. I'd have a whole trial scene for fucking the Lannisters and Cersei in the final episode, or the second to last episode. And maybe I change how fucking Dany acts. Maybe I have her still burn the city just to be a little dramatic, and then have the whole Jon kills her, because I kind of like the idea of Dany dying. Because she really didn't deserve shit. Everything she got was handed to her. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I don't.
She had dragon eggs handed to her. They became dragons. All she had to do was learn one word, and that was it.
I mean, she had to burn herself and those dragons to.
She had to take the risk.
Yeah.
That is a risk.
That's a
That
huge
risk wasn't enough to become the leader of the 7 kingdoms.
She also, broke some chains out there.
Those people
Set
could
some
have the
slaves
fucking
out,
Unsullied literally could have done that themselves, but they were literally fucking
but they
stupid.
Didn't.
Fucking stupid. That's why.
What else would you change? Anything else about the season now?
I would definitely change the ending. Bran would not sit on the fucking throne. Jon wouldn't go to the north. Arya wouldn't. I don't really care. Arya, her character arc is done. She could do whatever that she wants. She's the most badass character in the fucking show. And I'd keep Sansa as the sole leader of the north. I think that was a good ending for her.
I'll just start from season 8, like in the actual directions they led us. I would say that I would start the season the same way it did. So you got the first episode. So whatever goes on with it. The battle, I would have started episode 2. Like I would have started the battle like on some like surprise shit, like halfway through the episode
Yeah,
when
that's
they're
what I
all
thought they
like
were gonna do.
sitting there chilling still.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna start, and the Night King's really gonna be fucking them up to start. The problem is you can't have the Night King fuck him up too much because he can raise the dead. So if it gets too like oversighted, it wouldn't make too much sense anymore.
Yeah.
But I would definitely have it lead into the next episode of still fighting. Sam wasn't surviving. I'm sorry to say. Yeah, him laying on the ground with zombies all
Crying.
around him, it didn't make no sense. Just so he could be the maester at the end because they needed a maester. I'm sorry, no. Like, no.
I
you
would have put
can't.
him in the crypts. To be
Sam?
completely honest, yeah.
That would have made way more sense to
Way
him
more
fighting
sense,
because it's almost like you pretty much had him get tough. Like, he pretty much became a man when he protected Gilly.
Yeah.
And then you just had it revert for no reason, and
Yep.
then it ended up getting what's the name killed because he was acting like a bitch.
Yup,
Like
he
it
did
didn't
get
make
him killed,
it didn't really make no sense to
And
me
then
why
he
they would
didn't
even
avenge him. He just
do
ran
that
away.
for her. But I would have probably. I don't have as much. I mean, I do have an issue with Arya killing the Night King because it's like just out of nowhere. But I don't really have that much of a problem with it.
Neither do I. I'll get to what I would have done, but yeah, neither do I.
In terms of the 4th episode after that, I probably would have had them just at least show what Varys is doing in terms of trying to like do his little shady stuff. Because they hint at Varys being shady, but they don't really show that it's completely just he's like turned on her until after she burns the city. But I was getting the feeling like that
Nah,
he
it
was.
was before.
What do you mean?
Before she burnt the city, he turned on her.
Oh yeah, what the fuck am I talking
Yeah.
about? So I think they should
I don't know.
have.
By the way, did y'all peep out that he tried to poison her?
Yeah, I
Episode
think it was
5?
in his
I didn't
ring,
peep
so
that
I'm pretty
shit out the
positive.
First time I watched it.
I think that I probably would have had. Yeah, I would have had them actually explain that Jon was a Targaryen a little more and let that word get spread out.
Yep.
That way, after they go and fuck up Cersei real quick, then a war would have actually been able to like. This is going to be this war right here, and then I would have had them fight. And then in the aspect of them winning, I think I probably would have had Jon become king at the end of the day. And then that's how I would have had it end a little different.
Sounds
But that's
pretty good.
from season 8.
Nah, yeah.
If I
Just
went
season
all
eight.
the way
we're
back,
we're not.
I would switch.
We can make that a whole separate video.
I would switch from season. I would say I would just switch from start of season 7 and start doing things very different.
Nah, yeah, I agree.
Because I really wanted to end with Jaime being the one who like kills Cersei and then being able to like that having an effect on the Night King
Well,
later.
I mean, that's a
down
part
the
of
line.
this season. You could have had her. You could have had him killing her this season.
Like actually killing her at his own hands, not
Yeah.
going back to like save her though.
Yeah, that's this season. That's not season 7. So, is that?
I
in
just
your
feel like I would
perfect
have
world?
to change a few things, to be honest.
All right.
From even before that.
Well, I thought episode 1 was pretty spot on. I wouldn't change anything about episode 1. Episode 2, I would. Well, first off, mine would be a 10 episode season.
That is very important too. Though.
So I guess episodes 1 and 2 would be spot on. Then they would be spot on, but a little bit slowed down a little bit, like not as quickly as they did it. Then I'd probably have just a lot of pretty much a lot of dialogue between like episode 1 to like 5. I would have had Cersei been able to get a bigger army. That army really wasn't even that big for real.
Her army was huge.
Nah, it didn't compare to, like, if we're talking before they fought the Night King, it did not compare to the Unsullied and Dothraki. That's just Daenerys' army.
Way bigger.
That's not, no, it wasn't.
Yes.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Did you not see how many ships she had? Full of men?
That's ships. That's not,
The ships
that's
had
not just
men,
the Golden
like,
Company.
The Golden Company. The
Why do
problem
you
was
think they
didn't
said,
make it
why do you
seem
think they
big.
said, why do you think the show had to specifically kill half of Daenerys' army to make it look like a fight? Because she still had way more men.
No.
She would have
They killed
mollywopped
half
Cersei.
the men because of the dragon to make it look like a fight. Cersei had more men
No.
before the Night King.
I'll look it up after this, but no, and I'll put it in the video. But no, she definitely did not.
Yeah, she had more men before the Night King.
She didn't.
They made
First
that
off, the Night King had the biggest army. He
I
had
didn't
literally
say- I didn't
hundreds of
say
thousands
more
of.
than the Night
of-
King. I said before the Night King.
I'm telling you,
Daenerys'
her-
army was still smaller. They made it half just to make it even with the whole dragons. The dragons were the
No. Either way, I would have had her have a bigger army. But I guess that wouldn't have mattered because there were fucking dragons. No matter how big that army was, they had no fucking shot. Even if they would have had elephants, they wouldn't have had a shot. Actually, you know what? Yeah, take away the bigger army. I don't even fucking care. I would have done it the same way they did it in the show. I would have had just a little bit differently. I would have had Daenerys just take her 2 dragons straight to the Red Keep. Fuck the Red Keep up. If innocent people die, they die. I really don't care. That's what war is. Innocent people are gonna die. I would have took down the entire Red Keep. I would have just burned it all to the fucking ground. Therefore, Daenerys wouldn't have kind of became evil because I didn't really like that. Even though, again, I liked how, in her point of view, though, she wasn't evil. So I would have changed that completely. So I would have had that. So I would have had the Night King fight for 2 episodes. I agree with that. I'd probably have it for episodes 6 and 7. Then episode 8 would have been. I would have listened to fucking Sansa. Let your people heal. So I would have let them heal. Probably all of episode 8, and then episode 9 would have been the devastation. She would have just mollywopped King's Landing, and then episode 10 would have been like a Lord of the Rings moment where it was just tying up loose ends. So I would have made it a very much like a season 1 type of shit where there is no battling going on. There's just talking and there's just character development. And I would have had that final episode just be Daenerys would have confirmed that she was pregnant with Jon's kid. Her and Jon would have been the king and queen. I still would have had a lot of people die because at the end of the day, this is still Game of Thrones. But Daenerys, obviously Jon was the only one that could actually get to her. I don't even think Arya could have got past the Drogon. But so I don't think it's that happy of an ending if you kill a lot of people's favorite characters, but still had Jon and Daenerys on the throne. I just think realistic. I think it would have been pretty realistic. I don't know. Just the way they developed. I know you said they've been hinting at her going crazy, but like even in this episode, she's not really crazy though. She just.
I'm not talking about her. You can call whatever you want crazy. So I think we have different like definitions of that. But if you burn a city because you didn't get no dick, like that's something crazy about you. I don't know what else to call that.
Well, yeah, that's how we see it. That's how we see it. But I don't
that's
think that's
the truth.
How
I don't know what you mean.
I don't think that's.
If Jon would have loved her, if Jon would have fucked her right there when she was talking, because she's clearly
the world would never know.
She's on
that's
some
the
crazy
problem.
incest stuff too, like very obvious. Because she's
Targaryens
making hits.
do that, so it's
okay.
not.
That's also crazy though. I can't even lie. She showed she was crazy as soon as her brother got killed by Aquaman. Khal
That's what
Drogo.
a lot of people would say.
Yes.
I don't know. Her brother was a piece of
Okay, her brother
shit.
may have been a piece of shit, but we need to understand that up until this point, so I don't know how old she's supposed to be on the show, like 17, 18.
Well, I know in the book she's like 13, I think.
Yes, they can't put that on TV, which is
She was
whatever.
getting fucked.
And she got raped.
First night.
Yeah, they can't put that on television.
Yeah, they can't.
No. But that was the only person who was there with her entire life. Like, we need to realize that. Her whole
you're
life.
right.
And she was that okay with him dying. Like, it was no big deal. I don't think we
I don't
look
know.
at it.
I would like to think that if I had a serial killer of a brother or sister, that if they got the death penalty, I wouldn't shed a tear.
Only thing I'm saying is
But
that
anyways, that's my happy ending.
it's the only person close to you, though. So however your brain works, eventually you're going to turn them into somebody that's
You say
close
close
to
to you, but he abused her.
He was the only one around her entire life, though.
He was.
And then all the people she liked or that she trusted and loved her entire life ended up dying too.
Yeah.
That's true.
I also think that was a little cheap, though, like having her snap out because Missandei got her head cut off.
Agreed. Yes.
I don't think that was really something. Honestly, I would have had, what's her name, push her off instead of the mountain, too. She was like, say her last words.
She was gonna do that. Yep.
That would have been that would have been a colder moment than
Yeah.
that.
I died from that fall.
She definitely would have fucking
That was
died.
like 70 feet up
That
in the
was-
air.
It was like 25.
You're telling me a person's not
Rewatch it.
surviving a 25-foot fall?
It was
Feet?
not. I don't
They
even think it was
survived.
25 feet. That was a tall ass fucking wall.
I'm with you now, man. You shouldn't watch the show. Fuck it.
Exactly.
You should watch the show.
Don't watch
Yes,
Game of
you should
Thrones.
watch
Unless
the
you
show.
want to be disappointed for the rest of your life, don't watch Game of Thrones.
People hype this stuff up so much. They said they swear by it.
I think
They
that's
sleep
also
by
the
it.
reason why it got messed up, though, because it got too hyped up. Like, I think if it got hyped up after it ended, it would have been different because they
And
would
I'm
have wrote
sorry,
it different.
Endings don't ruin an experience.
I agree
of an
with you
entire
completely, yeah.
fucking
It
show.
doesn't end.
That is
Because we're not.
that is super white girl dramatic.
People come.
Like,
It's super. It's an American. It's
like,
some whole other shit.
seasons 1 through 7 are greatness. 7 is still slightly rushed, but it's a great season. This season has great episodes and great moments. Yes, they dropped the ball slightly, but it is very.
No,
I
they
wouldn't
turned
say
it
slightly
over.
either,
They
though.
turned the
Was
ball
it?
over. They threw it out of bounds. They threw
Popped
it.
Yeah, they kind
They
of
gave it
did.
to the mountain, and he put his dirty
broke-
little
Okay, but
thumbs
first
inside
off,
of it.
it's completely different. You just wanted the fucking bad guy to win.
That's how all
You-
things should be.